We are talking about limitations of the comparative method. So there are so many ways by which you can study the politics that is happening within the nation. There are legal approach, there are institutional methods, there are constitutions that you can read to understand the politics that is happening within the nation. But each of these methods have their own limitations. For example, let's take institutional methods. So institutional methods has its own disadvantage because these institutions does not function same in every other country. Like for example, if you take the parliament in India is different from parliament in UK because there they have this parliament supremacy where the parliament has got a lot of powers when compared to the Indian parliament. Their parliament is sovereign. Like see, parliament in UK has a lot of powers. They can amend or deduct any law. They can make anything, or if they actually want to make it. But in India, we do not have that sort of freedom, and we have not given that sort of freedom to Indian Parliament. This Article 368 does speak about. It does give the power to Parliament to amend the Constitution. The states does not have that power, but that Article 368 is limited by judiciary. The judiciary interprets the laws that is made by Parliament, and if they find that it is going against or if it is violating the basic structure of the Constitution, they will definitely squash it, or they'll ask it to modify or do something that so that it does not violate the basic feature of the Constitution. There is this case that you must read in order to understand fully how basic structure and judicial review applies on the laws or the policies that is made by the Parliament. So it's called as Keshavan Bharti case. So the best thing about Keshavan Bharti case is that judiciary came up with this basic structure, but the best thing, even the core part of the best thing is that they have not defined what is basic structure. That is something that gives judiciary an upper hand to decide whether what is going to be the basic structure of the Constitution and what amendments. Judiciary simply says that okay, so it's your complete right to. It's your complete right to make amendments to the Constitution, and which is also necessary because in order to make our Constitution a living Constitution, it's important that when we evolve also, like while the society is evolving, we should also be able to evolve our Constitution. So which is why we keep on having additions or subtraction. Like we have recently scrapped Article 370, or let's take the issue of homosexuality. So we have been adding and subtracting our Constitution certain values, but the judiciary point of view is basically that no matter how much addition or subtraction that you do to our Constitution, it should not be the case where the basic values that has been kept or that has been put or that has been given by your founding fathers, liberty, equality, fraternity, dignity of the individual, all the things that exist as a part of our preamble, like justice, social, economic, and political. Freedom, freedom of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship. So all of these values should not be, it should not be eroded in the name of amending the Constitution. So which is why we have, there are limitations of all these methods, and these are the limitations that we study in comparative politics.